Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a journey that every single one of us takes, adolescence. It often gets a bad rap for being chaotic or difficult, but it's actually one of the most incredible and crucial transformations we ever go through. So, what's really going on during these years?
Well, to really get it, we first got to zoom out and see where this all fits in. Our lives unfold in these different stages, right? From being a baby all the way to our later years. And right there, kind of sandwiched between being a kid and becoming a young adult, is this pretty long and totally unique period. It's the critical link, the thing that connects who we were with who we're about to become.
So let's try thinking about it like this. Adolescence isn't just some messy phase you have to survive. No way. It's more like the active construction of a bridge. A bridge that you have to build, piece by piece, to get from the familiar world of childhood over to the responsibilities and freedoms of adulthood. You're literally building your own path forward.
Okay, so every construction project needs raw materials, right? For this bridge to adulthood, what are we actually building with? That question brings us to the very first part of our explainer, the Great Transformation.
The absolute foundation for this entire bridge is puberty. We all know the word, of course, but the process itself is just profound. It's when the body matures and gets ready for reproduction, and it's all driven by this huge surge of hormones. And this isn't some small tweak, It's the rocket fuel for massive, massive changes, but physically and emotionally.
What's so fascinating is how this all plays out on different timelines. For girls, the whole process usually kicks off around age 10 or 11, and for the most part, it's done by about 15. But for boys, things tend to get started a little later, and their maturation can keep going well past their mid-teens. So it's like same destination, but everyone's on their own schedule to get there.
But, this construction project isn't just happening on the outside. The brain itself is going through a massive rewiring. All of a sudden, mentally, you can think about abstract ideas and actually plan for the future. Socially, your friends become your world, and that relationship with your parents starts to change, to evolve. And emotionally, you start craving your own private space, all while dealing with this brand new awareness of yourself.
And that new awareness, that concern with appearance, well, that leads us straight to a really important concept, body image. And this has nothing to do with what you actually look like. It's all about your own internal, totally subjective picture of yourself, a mix of your thoughts, your feelings, and how you perceive your own body.
In that inner voice, man, it can be really powerful. Just take this super simple, super relatable thought. I think I look bad in photographs. That right there is body image in a nutshell. See, it's not a fact, it's a feeling, a perception. And learning how to navigate these internal thoughts is a huge part of the whole adolescent journey.
Now, any big construction project is going to have some setbacks, right? The bridge to adulthood is no different. So let's call these the wobbly planks, some common obstacles you might find on the path. But here's the key. They're not dead ends. They're just challenges that we can understand and learn to get around.
One of the first wobbly planks we see is obesity. And at its core, the cause is basically simple physics. It's about taking in more energy from food than your body actually uses. And during adolescence, with all the rapid growth, new social habits, and different food choices, it's pretty easy for that energy balance to get tipped. The extra just gets stored as fat.
Our next challenge is kind of invisible, but the scale of it is just staggering. It affects this many people all over the world. 2 billion. That's the number of people dealing with the planet's most common nutritional issue, one that hits adolescents especially hard: anemia.
So, why is anemia such a big deal for this age group in particular? Well, it's caused by a lack of iron, and there's a really specific biological reason it affects adolescent girls more. With the start of menstruation, their bodies suddenly need about 10% more iron than boys do, just to keep everything running smoothly.
Another wobbly plank is mental health. And it's so important to understand what depression really is. It's easy to say, oh, I'm so depressed, when we're just feeling down. But clinical depression is something else entirely. It's a specific, diagnosable medical condition. It's not just a bad mood that'll go away on its own.
Another area of risk involves STIs and STDs, and it's really crucial to know the difference here. An STI, a sexually transmitted infection, that's when a virus or bacteria gets into the body.
And a lot of the time, there are no symptoms at all. An STD, a sexually transmitted disease, is what happens next when that infection starts to progress and actually makes you sick.
And this vulnerability, it becomes crystal clear when you just look at the data for something like HIV. The rate of new infections is already high for teens between 15 and 19, but then it actually peaks for young adults from 20 to 24. This just shows how critical this whole period of life is for staying healthy and safe.
Okay, so we've looked at the building materials, we've talked about the wobbly planks, so how do you make sure you build a strong bridge? That brings us to our final section, a guide for success. Think of this as your map and your compass for the whole journey.
There's this incredible piece of advice that just perfectly sums up this whole idea. Never wait till you get to the bridge before looking for ways to cross it. In other words, a successful journey isn't about just hoping for the best. It's about being prepared. It's about planning ahead.
So what's in this toolkit for the journey? Well, it really boils down to 4 big ideas. First, you gotta know yourself. Figure out your values, plan for your future. Second, you have to actively develop yourself. Always be learning new skills. And the last 2 are all about how you interact with the world. Think before you act, and learn how to be assertive.
And that last one, being assertive, man, that is a real superpower. It gets confused with being aggressive all the time, but it's the total opposite. It's the skill of saying what you think and feel honestly while respecting other people. It's the difference between saying, "You're wrong," and saying, "I see it differently."
And finally, let's just talk about the incredible power of learning skills. That feeling you get when you know you're good at something, that's amazing. And it doesn't matter what it is. Coding, cooking, making music, whatever. Every single new skill you learn is like adding another steel cable to your bridge. It builds your confidence, your independence, and your ability to bounce back from anything.
So at the end of the day, adolescence is the construction of a bridge to your own future. You have the materials, you know about the wobbly planks, and now you have a map. So the real question isn't about the bridge itself, it's about what you're going to build once you get to the other side. Thanks for joining us on The Explainer.